All right, we are now live with Andrea Hutchins.
What?
And I'm just going to give everybody time to come in the room, hit the share button. We're just going to relax for a minute here. All right, see some people coming in. Just say hello, tell us where you're from. Hit that share button.
It's
welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll get started in just a few seconds. Give me a second to turn that feedback off over there. I got it. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
How do I see the people?
Right. Oh, Mama's on the line. Welcome.
No.
Hey, everybody hit that share button. We're going to wait till we get about 3 more. Per Andrea's request. Hey, hey, hey. See Abby's mama on the line. We're almost at our 10.
We at what? How many?
Y'all got to turn the extra feedback off. Who's trying to do that?
She said turn the feed.
You got to close that out. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started on the introduction here. Hey, Latoya. Hey, Kathy. All right, so I have known Andrea since elementary, and she had those pretty hazel eyes that I really wish I had so bad. Like, man, I love those hazel eyes. Everybody loves them. We were in Black History programs together, Girl Scouts. We had sleepovers, and with Andrea and her sister Joanna. And she said her first trip to the mall back in the day was with my family. I realized that. And so now she shops too much. I'm not responsible for that shopping habit. I've been shopping with her before. I cannot honestly hang. I can't.
Can't nobody hang. Nobody.
I can't hang with her. And she likes to be up and close, okay? She doesn't like to walk far from the front of whatever store where we are, okay? Mm-hmm. And so Andrea is now a mother of 2 and a 2-time cancer survivor. And I wanted to bring Andrea on today because she has a unique story to tell. And definitely by looking at her, you would never know what she has been through and continues to go through. And she always has a smile on her face. I can always say that. And now I'm really going to just let Andrea have the floor and speak and tell your experience with breast cancer and Li-Fraumeni syndrome.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I don't know who all on here, but I know it's family. And my Facebook family, friends, and a couple of things. Okay. Yeah, disclaimers. Okay. So I have never been on live. And I'm a little nervous. I'm going to speak my truth. I speak with my hands a lot, and I wrote down so much stuff that I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to talk about everything. And I was hesitant to even do this because it actually has me to go back and relive the things that I went through. And so I might put a little joke in a little bit or something. Just bear with me. You might see me look down at something because I literally have like 5 like tablets with all my subjects on them and everything. So my sister is here on the side, and my daughter Chloe, just to get me a little bit comfortable. So I'm going to first give you the stats, the statistics that I've looked up about breast cancer. I'm not a doctor. I'm just going to speak on what I know and what I've learned from doctors and then experience and just going through my journey, life journeys. I don't have any backgrounds or anything behind my name. I'm Andrea, Angie, Adrian. Everybody say my name a different kind of way, and I answer to all of it. I know who they talking to. So, first, every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer. 1 in 8 women in the United States would develop breast cancer in her lifetime. According to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, an estimated 170 women will die from breast cancer. In 2020, this year, 276,480 cases of invasive breast cancer will be diagnosed in the United States, as well as 48,530 new cases of non-invasive breast cancer. 64% of breast cancer cases diagnosed in the early stage that has not spread outside of the localized area have a 5-year survival rate of 99%. Although rare but possible, men get breast cancer too. An estimated 2,620 men will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year in the U.S., and approximately 520 will die.
You got this. You got all your family.
Well, I'm like, they ain't dying if they got, well, it's God's will if they die. That's what I'm going to say. Breast cancer is the most common cancer in American women, except for skin cancers. It is estimated that in 2020, approximately 30% of all new women diagnosed with breast cancer, 30% of all new women cancer diagnosis will be breast cancer. So, do I have to try to say that? Approximately 30% of all new women cancer diagnosis will be breast cancer. And there are 3.5 million breast cancer survivors in the United States, including me, 13 years. And I was in the 99% percentile because it was caught early. So I went past the 5 years. Thank you, Jesus. But early detection is key to surviving breast cancer. Okay, so early detection includes doing monthly breast self-exams, scheduling your regular clinical breast exams and mammograms. But in some cases, if you have a high risk of breast cancer in your family, You may have to do ultrasounds, MRIs, biopsies, lab tests. So it's important to know your family history, your family health history, especially women of color, but all women. You need to know your family history. That is important. Besides having breast cancer, if you have diabetes, just anything. So that's important. Okay, so breast cancer comes in different stages. I know back when I was diagnosed in 2007, all I knew was stage 1 through 4. So now you have 0 to stages to 4. So stage 2, you have stage 0 through 1. You could have stage 2. You have stage 2A. You have 3A, B, or C. And then the 4th stage, which means the cancer has spread it into other areas of the body, such as your brain, your bones, your lungs, or your liver. Although stage 4 is not curable, it is usually treatable with more research and medical technology. There's a number of treatment options that can extend your life for several years. And it's I guess I don't want to say a stigma, or it's just not really knowing. If you're not like, if you don't know about breast cancer, everybody think it's only one type of breast cancer. It's not. Because sure, remember you said, I didn't know it was different types of breast cancer. I was like, oh, yes.
Triple negative he was talking about.
Yeah, I'm like, it's a lot of different types of breast cancers. And I wrote down a few. So one is ductal carcinoma, breast cancer, invasive ductal carcinoma, inflammatory breast cancer, triple negative breast cancer, metastatic breast cancer, and I'm going to say this wrong, but lobular carcinoma and invasive lobular breast cancer. Okay. So that is what the stats and what I looked up and everything. I want to do that first before I go into my story. So when I was diagnosed in 2007, I was 27. Not 27, Lord, he's 26. Okay. And 26. And when I was diagnosed, before I get into going into my story, I was given a journal from one of the nurses to start journaling and writing down my thoughts and feelings. And so I always kept this journal with me. I'm in a process. I'm about to move, and everything is in storage, but I kept this journal out. I literally keep it. Like, it's just like, I guess you say it is. It's a part of me. It was my life. So I keep it with me. I kept it in my trunk. And then I never opened it. Like, I have not really read it because I guess I didn't want to go back to read about go back to the past, because I'm like, that's the past. I'm moving forward. And when Sharice texted me to ask me to do a live with her, I was like, no. I'm like, I cannot. And she asked me after I had posted them pictures, because I did a photo shoot for my 40th birthday. And I literally had just went to my storage and put this book in a bag. I literally just had left my storage, putting this book in a bag, because I said, I'm going to take this out of my trunk, put it in a bag, and I put it in stuff that's like important to me. So I know this is my important bag. So I thought about it, and I was like, ugh. And I've been asked before to speak. I remember it was a couple years ago, my cousin Jatan Andrews King, I don't know if you're on here, you asked me to speak at KCC for breast cancer. And I was like, like, no, like, this is gonna be an audience, like, I can't do that. And then but I think it's something that God has always wanted me to do. I just was like, I'm telling God no, but eventually he was like, you gonna do it. So I have spoke before, but never on live, like Facebook. No. And excuse my face expressions, because I do expressions. And another thing that hinders me from talking online, I don't like the way my mouth moves. You know, you have little things about yourself that you don't like. So, but let me get into it. So I'm going to read from my journal what I wrote. I have not, this is like I glanced at it, but this is like my third time reading it all the way through. Pray I don't stumble on no words. I already been stumbling. And like I said, I'm going to be real. I'm quiet. So nobody, I keep my life private. And I want to say this now. I was married before in 2006 for a year and 3 months. So, because he's in this a little part in this journal. But I'm going to begin. Hi, my name is Andrea Denise Hutchins, and I am 27 years old. And I was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer at the age of 26 on March 2nd, 2007. And this is my story. I actually found the lump myself back in December of 2006. But hey, no one wants to think the worst, so I left it alone. So it was around midnight sometime in February. I was watching TV on the couch. My daughter Kiera was 6 at the time. And my now way back ex-husband was in the basement as usual, playing video games. Well, anyway, it had to be only the Holy Spirit telling me, you need to feel your right breast. So I did. To my surprise, from the time I felt that lump in December, the lump had grew so big and wide in such a small length of time. But I only knew of one thing that could have caused that, and it was the stress that I was under in my marriage. Being abused mentally and physically, and that would do damage to your body. So after finding the lump, I called my mom early the next day, and she suggested that I should call my physician, which was Dr. Anand. And he is still in practice till today, and he's still a good doctor. And he had me come in the same day. But sure enough, he felt the lump too, and he sent me for a mammogram and an ultrasound. And when the test came back, it confirmed it was a mass, and they needed to find out if it was cancerous. So I was set to have a biopsy on March 2nd, 2007. I had to be at the hospital early that morning. All of my family was there. So I was taken back into the surgical waiting area where they prepped me for surgery. I was put to sleep. And when I woke, I was told by my surgeon, Dr. Brockman, that it was cancer. And all I could remember was that word, cancer. A word that I never want to ever hear, because all I could think about was death. Because of the passing of my father, my brother, and my sister that I didn't get to meet because she passed away at 2 years old. And my brother passed away at 3 years old. And so many more family members that were affected by cancer. So as I laid in the hospital bed, just getting the news,
That is.
getting the news that I had breast cancer, and all I could remember was silence, and workers and nurses and doctors moving around in slow motion. Was this real life? Was this a movie? Not at all. But it was about to change my life. And that's where I ended at in this journal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna take a drink.
Take a time. You're doing really well. Everybody out here, I know you can't see them, but everybody's on here supporting you. Have Jimmy West Sr. on here, your mama, Toy.
How many people on here? Yeah, I'm trying to shake these tears.
21.
21, Lord Jesus. I was gonna say sunflowers are my favorite flower. They are, it brings happiness. Sunflowers. And I always said, don't know when the day will be, but I want sunflowers at my funeral. That's all the flowers I want. Not roses. I want sunflowers. Okay, so going into after I found out I had breast cancer, after putting on my clothes and everything, and the doctor comes in and he says, okay, so you have breast cancer. We have sent your biopsy. We'll send it off to the pathologist. We're going to see what type of cancer it is. And when we get that back, we're going to call you and let you know where you're going to, go from there. And so, when after, you're in the area where you're sleeping, until you come out of your anesthesia, your family is in the waiting room. So the doctor, after he's done with, his surgery part, he goes in to tell, the family what they found. So Dr. Brodman goes and tells, my mom, in the family is breast cancer. And I wasn't there, but I was told my mama, she went off on my ex-husband because she said, she blamed him. You the cause of this, because LaWanda, she don't play no games. But so when I got dressed and I'm thinking I'm gonna see my family, they had left. My mama called me on my cell phone. I'm in the car going back to, I was living in Manhattan, Illinois. So she called me, and the next day, my mom and my sister, Pooh, which is Joanna, but her name's Pooh, they came up to see me, see how I was doing and everything. I was still, I guess you say, numb to what I was told, still in shock. Like, I'm 26 years old. Like, but yeah, so processing that, and so so it was two days, like 2 days later, after having my biopsy and everything, my stepdad, Kevin Robichaud, he came up to see me by himself, because when your mom, your sister, I'm like, we're gonna really be talking, he ain't gonna get a word in. He's like, I'm just gonna come on my own. So he came up there, and we talked, and then he was I was resting, so he went and talked to my ex-husband about, telling him that, Andrea family is big, we're gonna be there for her and everything. And just letting him know that I'm not gonna be by myself, because that's my family, like, they gonna be there for me. And after my stepdad left, my ex-husband, he came upstairs, and he had that controlling spirit, like, we husband and wife, and this all we need right here, just me and you, we gonna deal with this. I said, okay, no, that's not how this gonna go. Because I'm just gonna shut my family out. I'm just gonna leave right here. That day was the last day. I had been praying to God to get me out of the marriage I was in. He gave me, I prayed, and I had a chance, and I didn't take that chance. I stayed. He gave me another chance. This is God. He giving me another chance, showing me, like, saying, you don't need, this is not for you. This is not you, Andrea. Like, you need to. So I literally, like, this was God. I heard him loud and clear said, I'm going to give you one more chance. You either take it or you leave it. You stay here, and you stay here, you're going to die. I heard it loud and clear. I said, you ain't got to say another word. I took that third. That third was 3 strikes, and I was out. So from then, I left. I moved in with my mom, Kiera. Me and Kiera moved in with my mom and my stepdad. And I had already got the call from the doctor, with my appointment and everything, when I was going to come in and meet the doctor I was going to have. So So I went to go meet the doctor, which is doctor. I would never forget. I don't forget none of my doctors, especially they like, he was good. So basically when I went in, he told me what type of breast cancer I had. It was called HER2 new positive breast cancer. And he was telling me about breast cancer. It's early stage. You can beat this and all that. And so he had wrote down his protocol of what the list of how your treatment, what treatment they was gonna go with, because of this type of breast cancer. They have certain treatments they have lined up, like you have to do this. The whole process is 1.5 years. And I had my mom with me. I think it was just me and my mom. So I was taking it all in, but really I was just deaf. And it's common. Other women I have talked to, you not listen. It's like you is in another world. You is going in one ear and out the other. So I was like, okay. And he was like, I'm telling you a lot of stuff right now, and it's a lot to digest. You're young, so right now it's just your initial appointment, and just for you to meet who I am, what I think. You can have a second opinion if you want to before you say, yes, I'm going to go with you and everything. And so I was like, okay. So, of course, I was like, okay. After going home, I had decided, I said, I'm not doing chemo. I was like, I'm not going to do nothing. And I said, and Mom was, what? Like, what is you talking about? You ain't gonna do nothing. I said, no, because I watched my brother suffer. He was the baby, 3 years old. I watched him suffer. I watched my daddy suffer. I seen my aunts, they had breast cancer. I see what chemo do to people. And I said, it ain't gonna help. It's not gonna help. That was my attitude, because I said they died. They did all that. They had the chemo and everything. I said, I'm not finna. I'm not finna be sick, throwing up, losing my hair, and I wore short hair anyway. But I was like, I ain't doing it. And after a while, so I was like, I go and be by myself, and then I think about it, and then I was like, okay, like maybe, okay, so they had cancer back, and that was the 80s.
Yeah.
So they done came up with new stuff now. It might work this time, but I don't know. But okay, so I decided, I said, well, I'm gonna get a second opinion, because we in Kankakee. I said, I'm not messing with can't keep doctors, because they got mad rap. Nah. but I said let's go to Chicago. Let's see. So I called Chicago. Well, told them about I was newly diagnosed with breast cancer. Told them what kind it was, and I told them I had my after visit sheets from the first doctor I seen with his list of what treatment he wanted, that said that I should have. I said they told me to bring that with me and everything. And at this time, my mom, she was working. She's working at the health department, so she couldn't be off work and travel around with me and stuff. And my stepdad, he's a truck driver, but I think he had maybe retired. Yeah, he was retired then. So he was the only one that could go with me to the doctors. And so he went with me. I went to Rush. That was my second place I went to get my opinion. And so, and then I'm sorry, but I'm putting little side things in just for people to know when you're going to the doctor, always bring somebody with you. Because you're the patient, you're not gonna take in everything. You always need we say 4 ears. You need another person that's gonna I guess take notes, remember stuff. And my stepdad, he always because he's a musician, he always recorded stuff. Like he had a recorder. So he would bring this little recorder to the doctor every time we seen a doctor, you know, so he would record everything that they say so we could always go back and listen to it, which was the best idea ever. And so they call me back. I go into a room. So I, gave the nurse the paperwork that the other doctor had gave me. And they had this team. I actually seen the team. They had it was like I seen they had open door. It was like a lot of doctors in there. And it's a team of doctors that's in there. And they actually look at your stuff and they discuss, this patient, me. And they go over with Dr. DeBono. That was his name, Dr. David DeBono. That was in Kankakee at the time. They went over with his what his suggestions were. And so it was like 7 doctors came in the room. I'm like, oh my God. Like I said, okay, we got a team. Like, and they was like sorry to hear, that you've been diagnosed with breast cancer. But people want to have their second opinions. Glad you came here. And they said, we never heard of this doctor that's in Kankakee. But this doctor that you have has the same formula that we would give you. So they was like, you can go with us, but if you're closer to him, you can go with him. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. So, but they was like, but before you leave, we want to do some imaging ourselves to see, because we know you had a biopsy. And so they did it was like a ultrasound, I think. Maybe an x-ray. I can't remember. But all I know is when they was done, their tech, she brought me in the room. And it was just me and like 2 other techs. And she was showing me my breasts and what they look like. And she said she knew what kind I had because they had told her. And she was like, my suggestion with this breast cancer you have, she said, cut them off. Because you could see, and it can happen sometimes when they do a biopsy, because they taking a piece out of that, it can break off little pieces. So now you got little pieces of that tumor floating around. And so they was like, I'm gonna move this camera. So they was like, you see this? Like this is part of the tumor that's floating around from their biopsy and stuff. And I was like, oh my God. And they was like, so that was like, that's our suggestion, but it's your life, you're gonna go through this. So I was like, okay. So I left. So then I went home. Then I made an appointment with, I think, the University of Chicago. And I went to them too. And they suggested the same thing. So I was like, okay. So I was like, I'm just going to go with Dr. DeBono in Kankakee, because he, from the get-go, he was on the right track. Mm-hmm. And plus, I wouldn't have to travel on the highway every week or every 2 weeks when I have my treatment and all of that. So I went and decided to go with him. And so before I could start my chemo, we sat down and he said the best thing was to do was take the, because it was the tumor was in my right breast, was to take the breast off before you start chemo, because the type of breast cancer I had, which was HER2 positive, is an aggressive type of cancer. And I knew it was aggressive from me feeling in December it was like the size of a nickel, and it grew wide, and that was fast. Within 2 months, I knew that's aggressive. That was moving fast. So I was like, yeah, okay. But I ended up having a breast MRI for both breasts before we did it, just to make sure that the other breast wasn't affected. So I had the breast MRI, and they said, well, we don't see nothing really that's suspicious in that left breast, so we gonna just schedule you to do the right breast. And they asked me if I wanted to do reconstruction, and I was like, yeah, replace replace the deadly breast. So I was young, so I was like, yeah, let's replace this breast. And so I went and had the appointment with the people. I went on. They made an appointment with the breast surgeon. The what do you call it? Cosmetic. That surgeon. So yeah. So they so I met with him too. He told he could tell me exactly how the process of doing getting implant. And so he was telling me, when the surgeon removes your breast, I will come in next. Once he does his part, remove the tumor of your breast, then I come in and do my part. And it's called a tissue expander in. So I was getting a saline implant, not the silicone kind, the ones that the ones that burst and people, and you have all this little silicone stuff, and then you get infection. I was doing a saline because that was, back then, that was more safer to do, was the saline. So a tissue expander, it stretches, so they put it in, it's a foreign object they put in your chest, and it has like a little, it's like a little, it's a flat piece where they can stick a needle in to put the saline in, to put the saline in to stretch, and it's pumping, stretching your skin to get ready for the implant, because that tissue expander will eventually come out once you've came to the size closest to your other breast. So so I was set up to have my breast removed, and I can't remember the date that I had that done, But oh, and let me go back. When I sat down with the doctor and they was gonna remove my breast, I think it was my mama, and I think it was Carolyn Butler. Carolyn Butler. I don't even know. Somebody tag Carolyn Butler. Carolyn Butler. If you don't know Carolyn Butler, you better get to know her, because that's a prayer warrior. She was there, and I tell you, she was there. She was at my appointments. She was praying. I'm gonna bring her up a little on down the line too. Mm-hmm. But so when I was scheduled to have my breast removed, I don't think I told nobody, but I think my mama must have told my auntie, and hey Denise, auntie Denise, it's my and I don't know, but the word got out, and I was in the back prepping. They was getting me ready, and the doctor, the anesthesia, they come in, they tell you, you're gonna be under. You're not gonna recall nothing that happened once you sleep. But the doctor came in, and so it was like, it's time for surgery and everything. And so I went in and had my breast removed, and they also removed 13 lymph nodes on my right side, and to make sure that the cancer hadn't spread it to the lymph nodes, because that's an issue once it gets into the lymph nodes and stuff. Oh, but it didn't. No, because it was stage 1, and the tumor had moved. It had stayed in that one spot, and so I remember I had made it to my room, and I could open my eyes a little bit. I was in so much pain. I don't know who was there, who came, nothing. But I do remember the doctor coming in, and all I can remember is, I do remember him saying, "You must be famous." Because this hospital is packed. He said, "You got so many people out there." He was like, "Oh my God, it's like you a celebrity." I couldn't even laugh. I couldn't do nothing. I was just like, I was in so much pain, I could not open my eyes. This pain, and then all the pain was from that tissue expander. Didn't know it was going to be that painful. When I tell you, it was worse than having a baby. I said, Jesus, help me, Lord, because I can't talk. I can't do nothing. And I remember my mom. Oh, it's one voice I do remember. My cousin Florence. Florence, tag her too if somebody know. Anybody know Florence? I know y'all know Florence, y'all. Florence stayed in that room for a long time. Yeah, she tall. Y'all know Florence. I love Florence. What Florence called me? Am I Riri? They call everybody Riri. I'm Ree. Florence, they never gonna say. She never say Andrea. I'm Ree. But Florence stayed in that room. Florence, Florence, I could hear Florence talking, but I could not open my eyes to say nothing. But I heard Florence's voice the whole time. Then she left, and then I don't remember my mom being in the room, but my stepdaddy was there, and I heard him talking, and I got nauseous. So all I know is I must have tapped the side. I don't know what I did to let him know that something. And you know the little tub they give you when you have a baby and it's born, and to wash him up in a little tub. He lifted my bed up, and he Herbin grabbed that tub, and I threw up, and he held that tub. He held that tub, and he said, "Lord, I'm about to be in there with you." He said, "I'm about to be in this tub with you, girl." I was like, I couldn't say nothing, but I'm just throwing up, He's like, Jesus. He just turned his head because he said, but I was in some pain. But the next day, it's a little better. They had me on morphine, but the morphine that wasn't working. I needed some strong stuff, so they gave me this stuff called Demerol. Why they give me that? I fainted. It took me out. That's some strong man. I said, but it took that pain away though. But I was like, I can't have that no more. So they just up my what was it? Morphine. So I think I stayed in the hospital for about a week. I had some visitors. And go to the part when you when you're going through breast cancer, people that you expect to come and see you, people that you don't even know, they even know that you had breast cancer, but they didn't heard it from somebody else, and they lost you in the hospital, and you come and see her, go visit her, whatever. And I couldn't say too much, but just knowing that they came and I could, see you and know that you cared, that says a lot. But I quickly found out who was really my friend and who was going to be there. Because people I expected to come and see me, they didn't. And I was just waiting. I said, maybe they need some time. Because they ain't accepted yet or whatever. But they never came. But the mother showed up. She even made me a gift. She even did us craft work. She done made me a vase and went to the store and made me up a vase and a balloon and a teddy bear. And that spoke a lot, that your mother came, but you couldn't come. And you never came. Never showed up. No call, no show. What they say? Out of sight. Well, I guess I might well get them out of my mind, because but while I was there, a girl that came up there that I didn't even expect to come up there, we was friends, but we weren't like close, but we was close, but not real close, like we like this. We weren't like that, but we had slumber parties together in junior high, and but she came and I was in a lot of pain. I did talk some, but But just her being there and coming in that room and sitting there, and I think she sat there for like 2 hours. We didn't say a lot of words to each other, but just because you sat in that chair and you cared to see about me.
Take your time.
And she recently, she got engaged and she had her bridal shower this past weekend. I don't know if she's on here or not. And I didn't make it to her bridal shower because I got a lot of stuff going on because personally going on in my life right now that I couldn't make it. But Lisa Steele, it was you. She came and she sat in the room. And I would never think that she would come. Like, we hadn't talked on the phone or anything, but she heard that I had breast cancer and she came up there. And, I said, she sat there. It was dark outside when she left. Mm-hmm. But she told me she loved me and just to know that she cared.
And then you're gonna make me cry.
I know. And so I get out the hospital and then they so I am, I do know. I had my breast removed in May of 2007. So I'm at home, they let me recuperate. I have drains in my chest because, you have to drain all that fluid that's coming from the people.
I understand it's coming from
coming from my chest. And so I'm at home, I'm recuperating everything. So the Dr. Robert Brockman, he is no longer in practice. That man, that was the best surgeon they had in Kankakee. And it's sad, but he was a surgeon for years and he went blind. But I'm gonna have to look him up. And but he wanted to go back and look at my breast MRI that they did. And he went and looked back at it. And certain doctors, they know what to look for. And he had some good eyes. Some good eyes. God blessed him with them eyes, them hands to do. He said, it's something there. It's something there in that other breast. And I want to do a biopsy. When they called me and said, the Dr. Brockman thinks that he sees something in the other breast. So we're going to have to do a biopsy. I'm like, what? No. I said, now, if anybody can feel that pain that I had after that first, I was sore from the first biopsy. And they just took a little piece, but it was enough size that they had to cut open. That was sore. But they had to do the biopsy a different way. a different kind of way, that I had to be up for the biopsy. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure they're more equipped now. But so I had to go to the hospital. They had a room that was like basically outside of the surgical room. Was it a room? And they had to tell me that they're going to have to insert 2 needles. I think about a yard. Think of a yard of cloth of you know how you get go get cloth material cut to make it was a yard. That needle had to be a yard, and they had to stick 2 of them through my breast while I was awake. And on the end of it, it was an opening. It kind of reminds you of an opening that when you get an IV, mm-hmm. and they hook that other part to it, so the blood, so they could press the thing through where it was open. So it wasn't nothing to close the bottom piece once they stepped the needle through, because it was a needle. So when the needle, you blood and go, stick a needle in, and then the blood flows. Mm-hmm. Okay. The blood flowed out on that end, and they had like a pan on the floor, and then they had towels. And I had a nurse sitting on my right side holding my hand, and she said, "Look this way, because you don't need to watch what they finna do." And I don't know if anybody ever gave blood before, but that's a thick needle. That's the kind of needle they used. And it was a yard. And he wanted to do it that way because he wanted to have whatever that spot is there. He wanted to be right precise where it was, so he can go right in there and grab it. Mm-hmm. It was painful. And then after, I got to get up out this chair, and they had lowered the bed. The bed is low, and I had to lay down with these needles sticking out of my breast. Can you imagine that? Some long needles sticking out of your side of your breast, like a yard, and it's a thick. And I laid on that bed. I said, Jesus. And I went in the room, and I was awake. And then they said, "We're going to give you a little sedation." But I can remember it was bright in that room, and they had the screens up. Once I laid down, the camera was on, and I actually got to see those needles in my breast and seeing the area that they was going to get. And then I went to sleep. And once again, Dr. Bobman had to tell me, "You got breast cancer starting in your left breast." I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But let me go back. Before they removed this one breast, I told them to take both of the breasts. I said, "Dr. Bono, you should have listened to what I said." And actually, when I said take both of the breasts off, my mama and Sister Carolyn Butler was in the room. And Sister Carolyn calls me Andrea. She said, "Andrea, what's wrong with you?" I said, "What you mean, what's wrong with me? Take both of these breasts off, because it's most likely, if it's in one, it's going to go to the other." But didn't even know it was already starting. It was already revving up. So not only did they sent that off to pathology. So now I found out I got HER2 new positive, invasive, aggressive breast cancer in my right breast. I have non-invasive breast cancer in my left breast. So I got 2 different types of breast cancer going on. I said, oh my God. Not only did I have breast cancer in my left breast, they was going to have to take this breast off when I told you the first time to take both of them off. So now I got to go back through the trauma. But since it was just starting, they call it a simple mastectomy. When they just remove the breast, because it was small, it was in a localized area, no need to go check on the lymph nodes because it was just getting started. So yeah, so they removed the right breast in May. I had to go, so they said let's start the chemo. I think I started chemo for the right breast. Then I stopped, and then I had to go, and I had got my left breast removed the day after the 4th of July. I said, I can't even, back then we were celebrating 4th of July and barbecue and all stuff. I'm like, ain't nothing to celebrate. Let me go ahead, sit down, get prepared for tomorrow. Got to get this other breast taken off. So go get the in the morning, get the other breast taken off. And they said, you're going to have to be on a special diet. You can't have this, that, or whatever. And I'm like, I'm hungry. I'm not. So while y'all, okay, I'm on a special diet. Yeah, y'all bring that hospital food in if you want to, but I ain't eating it. I didn't have I had a cell phone back then. It probably was Nokia brick. No, you weren't really texting or nothing on that. I said, I was I don't even know who was in the room. I might have got that phone myself. I might have reached over myself on that bed. I said, I'm not eating this. I called Monica's Pizza. I ordered delivery. I still remember. I don't know if y'all remember them pepperonis. I said, I'm going to need an 8 count. I'm going to need some pepperonis. I'm hungry. I don't care what y'all talking about this diet. I done been through it. I'm going to eat what I want. I'm hungry. And the nurse came and said, because they asked him where's room, whatever. They're like, this girl didn't order.
Last.
This girl didn't order some Monaco's. I said, and I'm gonna eat it too. And I ate my pepperonis. And this time I wasn't in no pain. I said, thank you, Jesus. I said, well, he said it was gonna be simple. Well, the first part wasn't simple, but after, I was good. It was simple. He came that morning, he checked me. I got discharged. So I went back to doing my chemotherapy. And at this time, I think my mom had stopped working. And I want to say my mom was kind of, I don't know, like it was like disbelief, like she done lost 2 kids. She lost my daddy. I think she was with my daddy at 16. So she seen the family, seen my daddy's side of the family pass from cancer. His mama, she was 44 years old, breast cancer. She seen everybody pass. So when it came to me, she went into, and I'm gonna be real, she went into a depression. So it kind of like she couldn't deal, but she had to. I like, she got to be there. You got to be there. So she helped. She pulled it together. She was helping me do my drains. We had a schedule, draining, doing my drains. Make sure I ate. To keep my appetite up, because you going through chemo, you lose your appetite. You don't want to eat nothing. Certain smells just and only thing that I could eat that I didn't feel sick was honey baked ham. And honey baked ham, the rest, the sandwich was their chicken salad sandwiches. And I would have one after my chemo because that's the only thing that I wanted to eat. And but I tell you, to this day, I have not stepped into a honey baked ham because the smell of it, I will not. I have not been in there a day since back then because I just remember that smell. I can't take it. But so through my chemo therapy, the harsh chemo I was on was andromycin. That was the bad one. It was red, looked like blood. Andromycin, Cytoxin, Taxol, and the last was Herceptin. But the Herceptin came at the end after the whole year of chemo. And through all that chemo that I was going through, I never was sick. What you see today, like how I look right now, that's how I looked. I just had a bald head. And I was, how people get pale, they get dark. No, I looked like this every day. Patrice Tally Works was making my wigs to keep me looking good. You wouldn't know I had no bald head. I had my wigs, and yeah, so I was never sick. And it was something I was just finna say. Oh, going to this part. Back to that ex-husband. So I was going through a divorce. And since I lived in Manhattan, I had to go do my divorce in Joliet at their courthouse. So what was crazy was the days that I had chemo, I had court. I had to go to court for domestic. I had a restraining order. I had to go to court for that and my divorce. Then after that, I would go to chemo. I was dressed. I had my hair. You went the court. They didn't know what. They didn't know I had no cancer. Nothing. I had my makeup on because I'm like, I said, when you don't look like what you're going through, that's a blessing. That's God. That's favor. And I was coming to the nurses come in like, you in so you dressed like, yeah, I wasn't telling them I was going to court, like to what I was going through. Mm-hmm. And then after I did chemo, Mama, she was with me. Mama was at chemo with me. And it's stages in the chemo process that they give you one drug, and then this other drug will put you to sleep for an hour, but you don't even know you sleep. You don't even know you went to sleep. And then I would wake up after sleep, and then after that, I was like, I want to go shop. I want to go to the store. So that shopping spirit I got, it started with me going through the breast cancer. That was therapeutic for me. That got my mind off of what I was going through. So the shopping was my outlet, to let everything, I would let time pass, and I didn't care what was going on. You know, I had Kiera, but she was all right. Grandma had her. My sister had somebody. She was with somebody, so I didn't have to worry about it. But that was when I started shopping, and then it continues today. I mean, but I'm a bargain shopper, clearance, thrift store. I like name brands, but it ain't got to be name brand. I don't care, as long as it's cute. I'm wearing Walmart, the thrift store, the Rainbow. If anybody know about Roses in Kentucky, that store gets the rejects. I put that on. I don't care. Long it's cute. It's cute to me. It's coming home. So, and then my mom, she was with me too. So she got that shopping spirit too.
Oh, mama
got the shopping spirit. But still can't nobody hang with Andrea.
You're right.
Let me tell you. No, let me not, because I can go all day and talk about that, but that's a whole nother subject. When I tell you I got family members that have been with me and said, no, you better drive your own car. Because you're going to leave. If you with her, you stuck. But if you drive, you can leave. But that was my therapy. And when I was going through my breast cancer treatment for a year, my hair fell out. I don't think I lost my eyebrows. Maybe they got thin, but let me tell you, my face broke out like a star crunch. Anybody got a star crunch? My sister, a star crunch, girl. My face was so bumped. My face was bumped up, and I'm like, no, like.
Well, look at it now.
Girl, I got on and I became a member of Proactive. Where's my Proactive? Faithfully, that Proactive cleared my face up. And I was back, baby. And I was like, but yeah, that Proactive, it cleared my face up. I said, no, we can't have this. And so slowly, as I started waning down with the chemo and everything, I started getting little hairs popping up. I said, oh, it's coming in. So soft baby hair, fine baby hair. And it was curly, and I was like, oh, this is beautiful. So I started having side effects. It affected my left leg. My leg would throb with pain, and that was, I'm on chemo. You on drug poison that's not only killing the cancer, but it's killing your good cells too. And so I was going through that, and then while I was going through that, I met Chloe's dad. And So yeah, I met Chloe's dad, and it came to me ending my yeah. So in between somewhere, I decided that I did not want my implant anymore. It was still I still had the tissue expander in, and he was still pumping it, and it was getting uncomfortable. And I was like, once they took this left one off, because I was like, I decided I didn't want to do the tissue expander in my left. Mm-hmm. I wanted the implant taken out. And the doctor, the surgeon, the plastic surgeon I had, he refused to take it out. He said, "You are 26 years old. You're beautiful. Why don't you want that? And why didn't you want a breast?" I was like, "Because I don't want it." I said, "The pain I endured, I'm not doing that to my left. I'm not going through that. I'm not going through that pain." He refused to take it out. I had to search for another plastic surgeon. And I found the lady in Orland Park. She was a surgeon, and I met with her, and she said, she asked me why I wanted it out, and I told her, and I told her what the other doctor said. She's like, a woman understand another woman. She's like, that's your body. You know what you want. But before, we go through that, I want you to see a counselor just to make sure that you're in your right state of mind. Because, you're going through chemo and everything. Mm-hmm. Make sure you know what you're talking about. So, yeah, I did that. And the lady I went and seen, her name was Julie. I met Julie when I was 7 years old. She counseled me and my two sisters. We was in group family counseling because of the loss that we had with my brother and my dad for me and my sister. But my older sister, she lost hers. She was firstborn, so she was there when my sister before me passed, then her brother, and then dad. So I remember Julie was a counselor. I got Julie's phone number, went to go see her. Had seen her. I was 27 from being 7 years old back then. And she still looked the same. And we talked about the past stuff, and she signed off on it. She was like, "No, you know exactly what you want." So we scheduled, and I had to go to Schaumburg, a hospital in Schaumburg, to get the tissue expander taken out. And I said, that's when I decided not to have no breast. Because the pain I went through, and I was like, I don't care about breasts. And it's like, why even go through that? And it's not important. It's not important. Your life is important, not these breasts. Because if you die, I mean, either way, like you had breasts or you didn't, it really don't matter. And if somebody gonna accept you for, they supposed to accept you for who you are anyway, how you look, no matter if that's, in them anyway, they don't accept you for how you were. So Chloe's dad came into the picture, and he knew my whole story. Like he knew I was going through breast cancer. He's in the Army, and he was home. He was home from Iraq on his leave from Iraq, and we had started being friends. He decided to go to chemotherapy with me one day, and from talking to him, he seen me bald head, everything. No, I ain't had no breasts, none. And he's like, I don't care, because he had an open mind. Like, you accept people for who they are. And I was like, who is this? Like, I'm like, wow, okay. So yeah. And then, so I ended my chemotherapy. And then I had my Herceptin. So it was a year had passed, and we come into everything, doing the chemo, everything. So November, I ended the medicine called Herceptin. Now, with having HER2 breast cancer, you have to do a medicine called Herceptin. And Herceptin, I'm gonna go to my notes where Herceptin is. Okay, Herceptin is used to treat HER2 positive breast cancer in the early stage or in advanced stage when it's metastatic. That means it has spread it. So since I had a Herceptin, that's like the last of the treatment that would keep that cancer from coming back. And another thing I want to say, that when the breast cancer I had, the HER2 positive, they had a chemotherapy, chemo that was specifically for that type of breast cancer. It's a doctor, I can't remember his name, but it's actually a movie that came out about the HER2 breast cancer. He, the doctor, somebody, I don't know what happened, but they did a movie on it, and it's called I Am Living Proof. Now, look, okay, this is how God works. Before, when I was going through breast cancer, I had just started an email. I didn't know about emails, and I knew about it, but I didn't have one. And my stepdad, he thought of my my email address, and it was I Am Living Proof at yahoo.com, and I still have that email to this day. And what was amazing was they named that movie I Am Living Proof. And I was like, God, like, come on now. I'm like, they named that movie I Am Living Proof, and it was about the breast cancer that I had. HER2. Harry Connick Jr. played the doctor that discovered the chemo, the regimen, whatever, for that type of breast cancer. And you probably could find it on Amazon. I got the DVD. I bought the DVD. I ordered it. I watched it, and it was just like, oh my God, because it reminded me, it had from people, the women, because they did a trial on certain women to see if it'll work on them, and some it didn't work on. Regina King is in the movie. She was one of the breast cancer patients that survived the breast cancer. The chemotherapy worked for her. And yeah, so it's a movie with Harry Connick Jr. playing the doctor called I Am Living Proof. Hopefully you can still find it. And but yeah, so I ended my chemo. I rang the bell, and finished my Herceptin in November of 2008. I still have, and I keep everything that means something to me. I still have my card because I had a port. I still have my port card with Dr. Brockman's name on it. I still have my last appointment card saying I finished chemo, and I put an exclamation point. I put a smiley face on it. I still got that. And so within that, when you on chemo and you're a woman, your fertility is shut down. I didn't have any periods while I was going through my breast cancer. I'm a Christian. No. But things happen, and I found out I was pregnant with Chloe. December 25th, 2008, on Christmas Day. Oh. They told me, now, how does this work when you don't have no period, but you can get pregnant? But when they told me my fertility was shut down, I prayed because I wanted another child. I was like, I know I had this one. I said, thank you, God, but I want another one. Like, please, no. Like, my fertility is gone. How do you get pregnant without having a menstrual? Is that possible? Or is that a miracle? That was God. And it was, and I prayed, and I prayed, and I told God what I wanted. I wanted a girl. It was a girl. And I want her to be healthy. But when I called the doctors on that Monday following after Christmas, and I told them I was pregnant, they was upset. Because they said, how? And you're supposed to wait 5 years if you're going to have a child. Well, God, I don't know, but it wasn't 5 years. It was right after I finished chemo. Like, I was a high risk. It was a high risk because you still have that. You have that chemical in your body still. Like, like that could affect the baby. Chloe came out healthy, beautiful. People was fighting over her in the nursery at the hospital. They did. The nurse, they was like, we ain't gotta bring her in tonight. We would keep her all night. I mean, they were serious. They like, they just kept her. They was like, we want her. But yeah, so I had her, and I got married March of 2009. I was 5 months with Chloe when I got married. And so went on, and I had got a new doctor. My doctor that I had my chemo, he told me he was leaving. And I got a new doctor. And it was a lady. I had an Indian doctor. Her name was Leno Thomas. I will never forget her either. She was wonderful too. And when I met her and she heard about all the cancer that I had in my family, she was like, I think you might have this gene. It's a rare gene, a genetic gene. But I think you may carry it, and I want to get you checked. And I had the BRCA1 and 2 gene testing done, but I was negative for that. But they had this other gene, and she sent me. Only people was doing it back then was Northwestern in Chicago. And she sent, they made the appointment, and I went up there. Did you go? I think my mom went. I think my sister went. I think she might have went. And there's like this gene that they, I had to tell them the whole, the story about my family history and stuff. And they said the gene is called Li-Fraumeni syndrome. It's TP53. So I'm like, okay. Like, they telling me about it. It was like, they was telling me how you get the gene, because they was like, because all the cancer in your family, it's like a real possibility you might have it. So we gonna do this, do a blood draw, and we send it off. We don't know if the insurance will pay for it, because the insurance companies are funny about paying for certain tests, because they want to know why you want to have that. Why does she need to have that test? So it came to that the hospital paid for it. And the place is in Utah. I don't know I know some part of it was Hope. But they do genetic testing. And so it took a while for it to come back. And when it came back positive. You have Li-Fraumeni syndrome. And since you have Li-Fraumeni syndrome, we have to test your children, because it's a 50% chance that they may have the gene. So Chloe was 1 and Kiera was 9, I want to say. And so they were tested, and I was praying that they did not have that gene, because of the things they was telling me that I was going to have to do for the rest of my life. I did not want them to go through that. I still remember the day they called where I was living, and they called and said, both your daughters are positive. And I just broke down crying. And I was like, how? And I just knew they would take their father's gene, because Kiera, she looks just like her dad's side. Chloe looks like me, but now she looks like her dad. And who knew that my gene would be dominant in them? So how was explained? Okay, so I'm going to go into what Li-Fraumeni is. So bear with me. I know a lot of people, they not going to understand what Li-Fraumeni is. It's complicated. You can look it up. It's also abbreviated as LFS. It's estimated that 1 in 5,000 is diagnosed with LFS. It was 400 families that had it when I was told I had it. It's a lot more now, like 5,000 maybe. So Li-Fraumeni syndrome is an inherited genetic gene passed down in your family from your mother or your father. So in the father, it comes from the sperm. The mother is in the egg. It predisposes you to a wide range of rare cancers. Due to the change in mutation, a tumor suppressor gene known as TP53, they also refer to as that. The P53 gene is damaged or otherwise rendered malfunctioning and is unable to prevent malignant tumors from developing. So it it will not stop the cancer from happening if you have the gene. Children and young adults are susceptible to developing several multiple cancers. Most notably is soft tissue and bone sarcomas, breast cancer, brain tumors, adrenal carcinomas, and acute leukemia. Other cancers seen in LFS patients include intestinal cancers, lung, kidney, thyroid, melanomas, the skin, ovarian, testicular, and prostate cancer. It is important to know that not everyone will, with TP53 gene mutation, will develop a cancer, but the risk is substantially higher than in a general population. The diagnosis of LFS is critical, and it's important to families affected to seek appropriate genetic counseling and screenings for early detection of cancer. LFS was recognized in 1969 by Dr. Frederick Lee and Joseph Fraumeni Jr. That's where they get the Li-Fraumeni name from, because it was the two doctors. They took their two last names and put it together because they were the one to discover it while studying pediatric and family cancers at the National Cancer Institute. They described 4 families with multiple early onset cancers in children and young adults, just like my family, being young and developing cancer early. The syndrome was first reported in a publication as Li-Fraumeni syndrome in 1982 by the researchers in the United Kingdom, not in the United States, who described 2 families with multiple forms of cancers, and they were young. And the signs and symptoms of LFS, Li-Fraumeni syndrome, may be suspected if someone has a personal family history of cancers. That would alert doctors to potentially suspect you to have that genetic syndrome of cancer. So it's hereditary. So that's why it's important to know your history, because that's like, it gives the doctor a light bulb saying something ain't right. I know if all these people getting cancer. And individuals with LFS have approximately 50% chance by the age of 40 and up to 90% chance by the age of 60 to have cancer, had cancer, while females have nearly 100% risk of developing cancer in their lifetime due to the increased risk of breast cancer. Breast cancer is like the #1 in women that have LFS, that you have that gene. That's going to be like the first cancer you get. Many individuals with LFS develop 2 or more primary cancers over their lifetime. And other than humans having LFS, the only animal that carries LFS, Li-Fraumeni gene, is the elephant. And the elephant has 20 copies of the TP53 gene, where a human only has 1. And the elephant will never see cancer. But we will. And that brings me to talking about being diagnosed with my second cancer at the age of 38. That I didn't tell people about. I was 26 when I had my first one. So that was before 40. But then I had my second cancer at 38. Hadn't even made 40 yet. So going into my second cancer, I just made 2 years with that cancer. October 8th. I was diagnosed October 8th, 2018 with a cancer in my left pelvis called leiomyosarcoma. That is one of the cancers that's rare, that's a part of Li-Fraumeni. And so I'm just going to talk about this. It's not real long about this cancer. But it was 2 months before it was discovered that I had this cancer. I was having a nagging faint pain in the left side of my pelvis. I think I mentioned it to my sister. I definitely told her because we're always together. And I told my mom, but I really expressed it more with my sister. And I'm just like, I don't know what this pain is. Like, it's just, and it's beeping like a heartbeat. It's like, and it wasn't painful, but it was like, you got some nagging, you just like a nerve, like how you have a nerve that will jump and stuff. That just like, it's very irritating. And I was like, I just wanted to stop. Once it started, I'm like, I want to stop it. I was taking Tylenol. I was taking like 8 a day, just about every day to stop the pain. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. So one day I was doing my favorite thing. What's my favorite thing?
Shopping.
Yo. At a bargain store, me and Pooh. Did we have the kids? The kids was with us. I think so. Jeremy, Lord. Jeremy and Chloe with us. We at a bargain store trying on shoes. And I looked down because a couple of years back, I'm prone to falling. I fell down my mama's stairs. So I messed up my toe, my big toe. So I always had to try my shoes on my left foot. Because if I can't fit the shoe on my left foot, I can't get the shoes. And it's just messed up. So I was about to try the shoe on, and my foot was fat. I said, oh my God. I said, Pooh, look at this. Why is my foot this big? It is swole. I said, oh no. So I was set to have a PET scan. A PET scan is a scan that they put, it's radioactive dye that they put in your body. It's radiation that it covers your whole body. So anything that's in your body that's abnormal, it's going to see it. It's going to catch it. It's going to light up in that area. So that was coming up in September. Mm-hmm. And so I remember Kiera was having a breast ultrasound. And I was in the room with her. And this, I had already had my PET scan, and the doctor, my phone rang. It was University of Chicago. I was like, "Why they calling me? I'm here." Like, they come calling me to remind me to come bring Kiera to our appointment, but no, it was my oncologist. Mm-hmm. And so I went in the bathroom, and she was like, "Andrea, hi." I was like, hey. And she was like, "Well, I got your PET scan back and everything. Everything looks okay, but we see a little spot." I said, wait a minute. I said, before you even tell me, where is that? Is it on the left side? She was like, yes. I said, I've been having a pain there for like 2 months. She was like, Andrea, now you know better. And I was like, I know. I said, I've been having a pain there for like 2 months. She's like, oh my God. So she's like, okay, you got to come in. We got to have an appointment. So when I had my appointment, probably that same week, and since it was in the pelvis area, which is the ovary area, run it back, 30 years old, after I had Chloe, if anybody, Kankakee, if you went, any women went to Dr. Hiley, Dr. Maida, rest in peace. But them two doctors, they was the best. Dr. Hiley was my gynecologist, and he delivered Chloe. And I have to rewind. When I was pregnant with Chloe, I had a 7-pound fibroid sitting on top of my uterus. Luckily, it wasn't inside with her. It was outside on top. So as she grew, that fibroid grew. It looked like I was having twins. It was huge.
I'm glad you went back to that story.
Yeah.
She missed something when she talked about she was pregnant with Chloe.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then by doing that, they seen that I had like two, they don't know if they were cysts or they was tumors on my right ovary. So Dr. Hiley would not let that go. He's like, I'm not going to let it go. You just had breast cancer. You know, after breast cancer, you can get ovarian cancer. So he's like, I'm not going to, he's like, I think you should have a hysterectomy. And I was like, oh, no. Like, I don't want to do that. Because, you know, having a hysterectomy, I mean, he taking everything. I went into straight menopause at 30 years old. Took everything. So, going back to this new cancer, since it was in the pelvis area where the ovaries, the uterus, all that would be, she sent me to a urologist. They deal with that area. So his name was Dr. Egner. He was very nice. He was fine too. No. Yeah. Mary. No, wait. But he was cute though. No. But so
guess that helped out.
So he was like, so you got this little spot here. I think we need to do a biopsy, see what's going on, see what it is. But he said it's small that we're gonna have to they have the robot instead of him going and making a incision himself. It was deep and small that they had to use a robot. So they made 5 incisions on my stomach to get down into where it was. So they got it. Later that I had to stay overnight for observation. I had to do heparin shots through the night, so my blood wouldn't clot. I wouldn't get any blood clots, and it was thinning my blood. And he came in that night and he said it was a tumor. He said, I don't know if is cancerous or not, but it's been sent off to be see what it is. He said, and you had 8 lymph nodes surrounding it. And it was growing inside of your artery. That's why you was having the swelling and the throbbing like a heartbeat. Because your pulse, it had beat like a heart. It was same thing. And I was like, oh my God. We had to take 50% of your artery, cut, reattach. They did what they had to do. So now I'm on an 81%. I'm at 81%. 81 baby aspirin for the rest of my life to keep my blood thin. So not only the chemo affected my left leg, now I didn't had this tumor in my left pelvis. So I have a bum left leg. So yeah, this leg is just done. Like I can't, and that's nothing, Sharice. I park close, and I have a handicap sticker. I cannot walk long distances.
You did have a handicap sticker then.
I cannot walk long distances. I even have to rest now when I shop. It just took y'all like the game. Come on now.
I'll start doing Amazon.
I can't do that online. I can't. It's just not. I have to actually see, feel, touch, go down and see every nick and cranny of that material.
We're opposite.
Yeah, we are.
I don't have to do all that.
Girl, that's another story. But yeah, I have to see what I'm purchasing. I'm sorry. And some stuff, but when it comes to clothing, no, I have to see it in person. I ain't got time to be sending nothing back. I can try it on. But now, because COVID, that really burning me. You can't even try to clothes on. But so yeah, so it took about it didn't even take a week for that to come back. I guess because it was so small. He called me maybe that Monday or Tuesday, and he said, this Dr. Agner, I'm calling to give you your results. And he said, I just wanted to tell you that it's cancer. When I tell you I buckled on my knee, like my knees buckled, because I was cleaning. And I was by the couch. Luckily, the arm of the couch was like right there. I was on the left. And I also had my phone because I'm right-handed on the phone. And I said, what did you just say? He said, it's cancer. Good news. He's like, found it early. It's 1.2 centimeters. The 8 lymph nodes were not affected. They did not have cancer in them.
Okay.
He said, good news is you ain't got to do no chemotherapy. I said, woo, thank you, Jesus. That's what I wanted. I'm like, you caught it. It's early. Thank God. God, he gave me the signs. He was doing stuff. He was making me feel the pain, because women that get this cancer, that myosarcoma, it comes in the uterus. It's like ovarian cancer. It's a silent killer. No chemo responds to that type of cancer. If I didn't have those symptoms, I don't think I wouldn't be here. And that myosarcoma, I was going to tell y'all about it, but now I can't find it. It's not on there. Look, but I didn't have to do no chemo, and also I'm in a support group for the Li-Fraumeni people that have Li-Fraumeni, and when I tell you, I have read about it's so many that have been diagnosed with that cancer, and I hate to see it when I see it, because they have passed away from that cancer. But leiomyosarcoma, it's a 64% survival rate when it's localized. and it hasn't moved anywhere. There's no cure for it. It's very aggressive. It will spread. It metastasizes to other areas of your body, such as your lungs and your liver. And it's high risk of reoccurring if it's not diagnosed early. And I praise God that mine was found early.
Amen to that.
But so other than that, 2018 because we came up a part of the Li-Fraumeni family, me and the girls were had the privilege of being invited. Well, all the patients that have Li-Fraumeni received email saying that they was going to have a conference for the families that are affected with Li-Fraumeni syndrome. And it was in Memphis, Tennessee. I want to say, was it July of 2018? And when we went there, we got to meet people. It was like, it was strangers, but it was people that could relate to what I have been going through and the girls been going through, because we're always at the doctor every 4 months, every year. We have whole body MRIs, brain MRIs. The girls have abdomen ultrasounds, breast MRIs. Did I say brain? I have to have colonoscopies. They were once a year. Now they put it to every 2 years, because every year is something new that they like, okay, well, they don't have to do it every year. It's like the protocol changes. New stuff comes, you know, doctors learn new stuff about the gene. We used to do blood work. They stopped doing blood work because they was finding that they wasn't finding the cancer through the blood work. It's seen more through the scans. So we stopped the blood work. We do get blood work for like to check our vitamin D or CBCs, the regular with our primary doctors. But yeah, every 4 months sometimes, I mean, it's every 4 months, but sometimes we there 3. We don't even make the 4 months. We there 2 times before the 4 months come up, 3 times before. So right now, we have switched to, let me go back. So we went to Memphis. It was a 3-day informational conference with people and children that have Li-Fraumeni. They have had cancer. I mean, when you see little kids that didn't had brain cancer, and I met a girl, her baby, that baby had to be about 5 months, had brain cancer, and he had just had surgery. She was there by herself, no family. She didn't have no support. And she was sitting at the table by herself. And I went, and me and the girls went and sat over there with her. She was living there, you know, like the McDonald house.
Yeah.
That her baby was doing chemo, and she couldn't even bathe her baby because of where the port was.
Yeah.
She couldn't even bathe her own child. She was holding him, and then I met a girl named Nisha. I don't know if she on there, but her son Cyrus. I have posted him before when he goes to St. Jude. He was 3 years old. No, not him. And she lives in Oklahoma, and she traveled. She has to come to Memphis. St. Jude has helped her fly there. She's driven there, same as me. And she posts every now and then she needs help with the cost. I've reposted her stuff. And Cyrus, beautiful boy. And he was attached to Chloe. He got attached to Chloe. He was 3 years old. And I really think he was my brother. He was 3 years old because he had the same cancer my brother passed away from, adrenal.
Oh, wow.
Cancer. And he was attached to Chloe at her hip. It was like Chloe was taking care of him. That's all he knew was Chloe. But I really think that was my brother. I really do. Like there was an angel. He was beautiful. And if I could, I would have took him home with me. And I love that little boy. And he just had his test done not too long ago. And but when you hear the stories of how cancer has affected the families that deal with, you have to deal with getting cancer. 100%. You have 100% chance of getting cancer. I mean, this cancer literally hits anywhere. I don't know if you or anybody, I think I reposted this man, a black man, he's married to a white lady. She was going through breast cancer. He has Li-Fraumeni syndrome, and their kids, they have 2 boys. They have Li-Fraumeni, and he literally just lost his eye. His whole half of his left side of his face is cancer has taken it.
I think I remember that post.
Yeah. They just did an update. They have made a mask for him to wear. It's devastating. Like a girl literally she has Li-Fraumeni. She got Li-Fraumeni in her pinky. She got cancer in her pinky that they had to take half her pinky and remake her finger with a part of skin from her arm. Like the stuff that I started traveling with Chloe and Kiera. Chloe was 2. I was when I got married, I moved to New York to Fort Drum, the base Fort Drum, and the town outside of the base, they didn't have many doctors, never heard of Li-Fraumeni. They could not even help. So the military, at first, okay, I was driving with Chloe and Kiera 13 hours from New York to Chicago. Oof. Baby, and Kiera helping me, just us in the car. I would leave at 7 in the morning and make it to my mama's house at 7 p.m. I would time it out driving from New York a bunch of times. Then I started riding the train from Syracuse to Chicago. The train overnight. I don't know anybody ever rode the train. The train is nasty. I was Lysoling, covering the seats. And you on there with strangers, and I literally it was too much. Then it was too much. Then that I said, okay. So my ex-husband, he contacted TRICARE, that's the insurance for the military, and I went in and I talked with them and told them what was going on, and then they started flying us to O'Hare. They started flying us to Chicago. Well, they got expensive. It was like $1,000 a ticket to fly us to Chicago. So my ex-husband had to put in a compassionate reassignment. Compassionate reassignment is you were requesting to move closer for treatment. So they got us to Fort Knox. So that was 4 hours to my mom's house, and then an hour to Chicago from my mom's house. So I would drive. Me and the girls would drive, just us, drive to my mom the day before our appointments. I was in Illinois, so I was like, people was like, you need to come back. And then tell me, I wouldn't even tell people I was in Illinois. I was in Illinois so much, and I stayed in the house. I didn't even go nowhere. I didn't tell people I was coming there. My mom was helping me with gas to come there, helping with paying, because Chicago, you got to pay for parking. I would be up there for like some hours, because the scans would be like 2 hours. The cost was like $20. I was doing this all. I said my ex-husband helped with the financial part. I ain't say nothing else about that. But my mom at the doctor all the time. That's, your mama, your backbone. That's gonna be, she done been through it. She been through cancer. This another side of cancer, dealing with Li-Fraumeni, because you will have to be I'm in a survivorship program now, because I don't have cancer. I don't have active cancer, but I'm in a survivorship program because I have to be monitored for the rest of my life. And the kids, the girls, they have to be surveillance for the rest of their life. Well, forever, as long as we on this earth, we're gonna be at the doctor. So I recently decided that I'm tired of driving. I've been doing this. I've been going to the doctor with them since 2011. I've been traveling since 2011. So that's when their journey started. I done been through 5 cars. The transmission went out. Got another car, which I went on my own and then got ripped off. Who makes a car with no cruise? No cruise control. I'm driving 5 hours with no cruise control. Luckily, ain't my left leg, but my legs, both of my legs is done. They are done for real, both of them. Oh, between that, I ended up having surgery on my hand, on my left hand, from all the driving. My hand, they said my hand was like a construction worker's hand. They was like, your hand is terrible. Oh, now I didn't get put to sleep for that one either. They was like, you want to stay up for? I was like, yeah, I'm a pro at this. I'm a pro at surgeries now. I stayed up for my surgery. I watched my surgery while they did my hand. They was like, your hand is, oh my God. They were like, it's terrible. Like, how did it get like this? I said, probably for all the driving I've been doing. So I went through that, and so I got tired of driving. Corona happened. Chicago got bad. it was time, it was time for my checkups. They couldn't do my scans. And I'm like, no, I know corona going on. I could protect myself, but y'all need to do these scans. When I tell you, I contacted the president of University of Chicago. And okay, I said, so I'm trying to tell him what syndrome I have. It's important that I don't miss my scans. I know corona going on, but people with Li-Fraumeni ain't no, you gonna pause us. Because you have to catch it right. You have the kids catching it early. So I said, okay, I'm done with y'all. My oncologist wasn't calling back. Her nurse wasn't doing her job. I said, oh, y'all got the wrong one. Because I don't play about my health. I said, I'm done with y'all. Called the cancer center that I had my treatment with 2007. New doctor, I don't know the doctor, nothing. First thing I called and I said, hello, my name is Andrea Hutchins. I had breast cancer in 2007. I had my treatment there. I don't know what doctor is there now, but I need to know. Only question I have was, does he know about Li-Fraumeni syndrome? If they know about that, I can come there. If they don't, then I can't come there. I said, I'm gonna give you my phone number, call me back. They called me back the next day. They say, yes, she knows about Li-Fraumeni syndrome. She has a patient. She has one patient that has Li-Fraumeni syndrome. She's 40. I said, okay, we can work with this. So made my appointment, told her what's going on with Chicago. I said, I am overdue for everything. When I tell you that lady went to work, she's got everything scheduled. I had all my scans done. And then I had my colonoscopy done and found out I had a bacteria infection in my stomach. I had been having stomach problems since April, March, something like that. That my stomach, someone right in my stomach, I ended up having a bacteria infection called H. pylori. And I was on strong medication. Oh my God. Got through that. Cause I know people, women know their body, something ain't right. And I was like, something ain't right, because my stomach, I'm not going to the bathroom. Like, it's terrible. One day I was so sick, I couldn't even take care of myself. Like, I literally passed out on my bed alone in the house by myself. But I called Pooh. I texted her early morning. I said, I don't know what's going on, but I'm in pain. I passed out. And all I know, I woke up in the bed, I still was by myself. But I found out I had the bacteria infection in my stomach. August, I was cleared for that was done with. But I don't know if you want me to say anything. You don't care? Well, I was talking to Kiera. She's my quiet one. No, but I'm doing okay. Chloe is okay. Kiera's fine too. We are having a little situation going on with Kiera, but it's not cancer. We watching it. They watching it closely. Kiera, she like me. She quiet. She keep everything to herself. She don't want nobody knowing nothing about what's going on with her. Just keep her in y'all prayers. She had a surgery December of 2019 on her breast. Her left breast. She had what was called a sebaceous cyst that it literally it was a hole in her breast. And it would not close up. And it was, this hole stayed open for 3 months. This thing made a tunnel going up her breast, going up the side of your breast, the inner side of your breast, that we had to, the doctors were stuffing. They showed her how to do it, but it's a certain type of gauze they use to pack it, so it wouldn't be exposed. And she had to do that 3 times a day. Oh no! It came to a point it wouldn't close up, so they scheduled surgery. Yeah. And they went in, and they had to go in farther than they had to, but it wasn't cancer. It wasn't cancer. And I thank God for that. It wasn't cancerous. But she has recently had a whole body MRI, and they see some cyst in both of her breasts. It's 3 on one side. I forgot how many on the other side. Oh, okay. She would correct me. It's 2 and 1. We're watching that. And she also has a lesion on the left side of her brain. It's not cancerous. It doesn't have the symptoms or whatever that they look for when it's cancer. It doesn't have fluid, and it's on the left side of her head, called the parietal lobe. So she has a lesion there. It was seen in 2018. It's 6 millimeters. That's very small. They're watching it. So when they told me that, my sister was with me. I didn't cry. I didn't. Yeah. I actually, because Kiara's 20, she had to get permission, because it's like now she's grown, and it's the HIPAA law, stuff like that. Confident, like the doctor had to ask, can I tell your mom what's going on? So this part, my girls, they know they have the gene. They understand. Chloe, it was a time when she was a little younger. She was like, why I gotta go to the doctor? She was like, I don't want to go to the doctor. Like, now she with it now. Like, yeah, we getting a checkup. But when it comes to us being in the room with the doctors, Chloe, she don't want to hear it. She don't want to hear about what's going on. She actually put headphones on, and then she'll tab me and is like, they done? I'm like, yeah. Kiara, when it comes to her part, and they say, Kiara, how are you doing? She look over at me like she'll tell you. So I'm like, I'm their spokesperson. Like, I'm gonna tell it all. I'm gonna tell you how they doing, how they feeling, everything. Cause I'm their mama. I know my kids. When you know your kids, when they ain't feeling good, when something ain't right, they body, they mannerisms, all that. I got it down to a T. They with me. Them girls, I can't go nowhere. They on my back. When I say we arm in arm in the store, Chloe on one arm, Kiara on my back. When I stop, they run into me. I'm everything. So I done been through so much. It's like I have no doubt that whatever I go through, that God gonna bring me through it. So I don't even worry. When she said us, when they told me about that, I said, she ain't got no cancer, and no weapon formed against her shall prosper, nor will not.
Yeah.
So my sister, she cried. I said, my mama, it just take her on back. I said, don't even call mama. Because you already know. I ain't got time. No. But no, I didn't have ain't one fear come over me at all. Not nothing. Cause and if it did, I'm prepared. We gonna fight this. Y'all ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere, and y'all ain't either. We're the Three Musketeers. Okay. No. So I didn't shed a tear when they told me one. I know. Cause if God gonna bring me to it, He gonna bring me through it. I'll tell you that. Look. So
you made me cry, telling me all this story. So you definitely strong, honey. Because look, I can't take it over here.
I know. My sister too, girl. She over here crying too.
I'm crying on the wild.
I have came a long way. I used to be quiet. I'm just like, and I'm a people person. It's just like my sister will tell you, she not a people person. I could be out. It don't matter what color that person is, what race. It's just like I'm a magnet, and somebody gonna say something, and we're gonna spark a conversation. And that's how I meet a lot of people. A lot of breast cancer survivors I have met, didn't know they had cancer, and we become friends. And so I decided I switched to Cincinnati Children's Hospital because it's closer. I decided to stay in Kentucky. And Cincinnati Children's Hospital deals with Li-Fraumeni syndrome. They have a team. The Children's Hospital actually sees adults too. So they will be seeing all three of us at the same time. So all our appointments will be together. Our scans will be scheduled together because we could never get on track in Chicago. I was always there, but now so I'm like, we got a good team. They own everything. I done been to Cincinnati about 6 times. And I just went 2 weeks ago. And then I'm going again on the 26th for Kiera. She's getting her checkup. So I put my kids first before me. I always have. I always will. I put me last when it comes to getting my scans. But I have to learn, like, can't do that anymore. Plus, now that we can be scheduled together, that won't be happening anymore. But I have not. It's coming up in November. I'm going to have my whole body MRI in Cincinnati. And I have put my tests to the side for them. I want them to have all their stuff done. Then we're going to go to Andrea. So my doctors have me all lined up for my stuff. I'm next. And so that's where I am. But I want to say, going back to breast cancer awareness, I had wrote down some stuff that I want to say for women that are maybe newly diagnosed with breast cancer, or they have been through breast cancer and can relate to what I'm about to say. You just listen to what I'm about to say. So for women going through breast cancer, when you're newly diagnosed and talking with, I'm like, it's really good for you to talk to a survivor. Because a survivor can help ease with your anxiety and worry and correct those misconceptions of things that you have heard that's not true about breast cancer. I said a survivor can talk you through treatment with details and advice and information you might never have gotten from your doctor, because doctors don't tell you everything. When your treatment ends and you didn't made it through your cancer battle and you a survivor, when that treatment ends, others, if your friends, you'll know, you're gonna learn who your friends is. You're gonna see who's gonna be there for you, who not. When your treatment ends, your family, your friends, they might be waiting on you to get on with your life, to come back. But they should, and they be there to support you emotionally through your recovery of getting back to yourself, because it totally changes your life. It changes the experience, how you look at things. This experience you go through, it's life changing. You will never forget it. Like I would never forget what I've been through from 2007. Okay, so what doctors don't tell you after treatment, after they say, oh, you are in remission, you can ring the bell. Okay, they don't tell you the after, like you have an aftershock. Like what's gonna go on after that. I done wrote down some points. They not gonna tell you you're gonna have some setbacks, maybe some major side effects. They don't tell you that this chemo or whatever you've been through is going to bring on another type of illness. It may bring on another type of illness. You have scar tissue, the scars that are permanent, but those are your battle scars. Especially women of color, you know, them scars, they just, you done. Your scars is just there. You're gonna have to deal with it and just know you can do the cocoa butter and, you know, if you lighten it up, but you're gonna have that scar. Like I still have my port scar. I still have my 5 incisions on my stomach. I've had 2 skin biopsies. So I have scars from those on my legs where they thought I might have had skin cancer. You have unexplained weight gain. It has nothing to do with how you eat. You can eat healthy. It just depends on, I guess, how your body is before you do cancer. If you're skinny, you might stay skinny, or you might gain weight. You can exercise and eat healthy. When women, I just found out not too long ago, when women don't have breasts, I'm messing with this camera. I don't know which way I'm going. This way. When women don't have breasts, your stomach, it's like you get this fatty tissue in your stomach. And I get this all the time. People ask me, are you pregnant? No. And I'm like, you're rude, okay? No. I'm like, I'm not pregnant. It's just the stomach ain't, I don't know if I'm going in the camera.
You're going the wrong way with the camera. You're going away.
Oh, I'm going away. Okay. So, I mean, okay. So I don't know, your food, everything goes to something. You have nothing. Oh, so they don't tell you about your mental, your psychological, that you gonna go through, depression, anxiety, because really you've been through trauma, PTSD. You worry, you might, like, some days you might cry. I have my days someday, but I haven't had those in a long time, so I'm glad to say that. But yeah, you might cry because your physical body has changed. Like I have hot flashes. Everybody be cold and I'm hot, and I'm like, y'all just gonna be cold because they go put on onesies and stuff. But and then you wonder if the cancer will come back. Chemo brain is real. I'm telling. Chemo brain is like the chemo affected your brain, that you have mental fog, your memory, you have memory issues, your concentration is not good. You forget. Like I do all the time. I'll go do something like, what did I come in this kitchen for? Then I remember after I go back and sit down, but I forget stuff. Like today, me and Kiera we met with our new primary doctor. I forgot I even had a doctor's appointment today. Kiera reminded me last night. It was late. Because she like, I gotta go to the doctor. I said, well, who wants to the doctor? But yeah, we had a doctor's appointment today. That lasted from 10 to 1 p.m. because we were new and we are not a normal case. And they probably was like, well, they couldn't even go to lunch. Because I had to run down everything. And your clothes don't fit the same. Certain clothes I can't even wear. I'm mad about, like, they have those dresses that cross over. Well, I ain't got no breasts. It's just gonna be just puff. I ain't got nothing to fill it with. I can't even wear it, and I can't do the prosthetics. I'm used to not having breasts, and my kids. I actually thought about doing getting breasts with my own skin, because now they can use your stomach. Yeah, I can use a tummy tuck and breast all in one. And I'm like, and come out flat stomach. Nah. Come out, it's a new person, girl. Now I'm like, but yeah, I can't wear certain clothes. Your shirts fit funny. Now I got this belly. Gotta make sure my pants go over my stomach to make my stomach look flat. Oh, they don't tell you about the medical costs, the medical bills some stuff that insurance companies don't cover, and then you have to come out of pocket. Well, I don't have $1,000 to give you, so now you're gonna get billed, and you get billed, and then it goes into collection. You can lose your job, you lose your insurance. You could be off work too long, and then some people don't understand. Like, I'm gonna have to be off because I got to go through chemo and all stuff. Like, it even came to a point. I was working for Aldi when I got breast cancer, and I was there long enough to get short-term disability. Then I went to long-term disability because I didn't come back, and then it came to, well, we're gonna have to terminate you. But you can keep your insurance, but you're going to have to pay for it. And it was like, I had to pay $800 and something to keep my insurance. I did not have $800. So I ended up getting it as a gift. So I got to keep my insurance, my health insurance. And But basically, doctors, they're there to treat you. They're not trained to get you back into society. That's not what they there to give you your meds, but they don't tell you the after, what's gonna come after you're done with your treatment, all the stuff you're gonna go through. But does once you can't stay there in that fear of that cancer fear. You have to get back to your life, especially when you got kids. You can't just you have to be there for them. You gotta, that's why I'm like, I'm that I have to fight, have to be strong for my kids. You got to lift yourself up. Cancer, it took you through, but you went through it for a reason. It makes you, because it's going to make you stronger. Because God not going to give a battle to somebody that he know they is not going to be strong enough to come through it. It's like he know she gonna beat it, she gonna fight, she ain't gonna, it's not gonna take her over. And it actually make you a living testimony, so you can be that strong. You can help somebody else. That's what it's for. That's what so you basically, you're going to survive, you're going to strive, you're going to smile, you're going to keep it moving. That's what you're going to do. Because, yeah, I got stuff to do, you know. Yeah, right. But, yeah, that's basically what I want to say. I done been on here almost 3 hours. How many people left on here? I don't even know. But
people are still holding on.
I know, like, just
watching later.
No, like, hold on. No, but that's what I want to say. Telling my story, and I'll come to time. I want to acknowledge some of my survivor sisters and my seasoned survivor sisters that's helped me and then gave me some knowledge to get through, and said, girl, you better get yourself together.
All right.
So I don't know if they on here. They probably not. Who ain't on her job? No.
Let's about to get started before she gets started.
Oh, before I start that, I do want to give y'all some songs that help me get through. They get through me. Help me to get through. And I'm tell you this, I'm not into that rap music. That's a mess. My girls know, y'all can't even listen to that in the car with me. When I'm driving, it's my music. Okay? No, you get with it, you get out. No. And they have to bear through it. But what they do is they're gonna put their own music in their ears.
Right.
Okay, that's good with me. But but nothing gets you through more than God. Jesus, that's gonna get you through. Ain't nothing getting your spirit and lift you up more than gospel. I don't know. I get chills literally when I listen to certain songs. that like you done been through that, you can relate to that. And but it's a pastor. He passed away at 32 years old. It was one night I woke up out of the middle of my sleep about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I can't go back to sleep, so I'm gonna just go on Facebook. This man, you know how the videos go pop up like after video. Well, this pastor came on my videos, and I always say God always knows what you need in that time. If you like, I get a little dry. I like think I always look up like thank you for that. But this man named Sean Jones, he was a pastor, 32 years old. He passed away doing he sung, and he was a pastor, he was a father, a husband. And at he did his last performance, and at his last song, he dropped dead of a heart attack. And this man, you could not tell me this man had died. I could not believe it, because I went to YouTube. No, I didn't go to YouTube. He went to surprise a pastor that had been going through, I think he was sick, and it was his anniversary, pastor anniversary, and he went. His wife had got in contact with him, and he wanted Sean to come and surprise him and sing one of his songs, his favorite song called "Lord, I Am Depending on You." And when he sung that, and when I read, and I was, because I want to know what his name was, and going through the comments, and they had said, "Rest in peace, Pastor Jones," I said, no. He had an old soul. That voice, oh my God. I want people to look up Sean Jones and the Believers. He made it in life long enough to make it to the Stellar Awards. He was able to do interviews. He was on earth that long that he made it that far, but he passed, but the Believers, his friend, I don't know, they were his family, but his background team, the singer that sung with him, they brought out the album. They was able to put the album out. And it's 2 songs. The whole album is good, but these 2 songs, Walk With Me and Return No More, them 2, I'll be done. I can just listen to them 2 songs and be done. And I put them on repeat. And the girls, they know them. And LaShawn Pace, this old LaShawn Pace, he keeps on doing great things for me. When I had my colonoscopy, that song, God gave me that song in my head when I woke up from my recent colonoscopy in August. That old song came to my head when they told me they ain't see no cancer. That old song, like that was is it in the 90s, maybe? It's an old album. Yeah, he keeps on doing great things for me. Myron Butler is a new song he got featuring Smo. Featuring a new artist called Smo, called Holy Spirit. You spell it in Samo has other music, and he is you know, you got Brandy, it's the vocal Bible. He's the man version of the vocal Bible. He will take you to church, Lord. When I say I fall back sometimes on the notes he hit.
Name is Smoke.
Yeah, SAMOHT. The T is silent. Samo. And then another is about Isaiah Templeton. Everything will be all right.
Oh, I love that song. Everything will be all right.
And that's another song by Samo. Be Okay. It's on his new album that just came out. The album name is Clear. And when you listen to him, you know he's going through a spiritual journey. He R&B, but he gospel. He should have went into gospel, but his songs are they more healing songs. He got a song called I Forgive You. I forgive, and if you haven't forgave somebody, because I've been thinking already, like, and when I heard the song, I'm gonna have to forgive some people, because it just like, if you don't forgive, how God gonna forgive? You gotta forgive them. And Commission Reunion album, the live album of 2002. Ordinary just won't do, because God's love is not ordinary. And it's like, you need that type of love that he love you through any and everything, all your faults, anything and everything that you do. You ain't perfect, and he know that, but he got that ordinary love that will bring you through. And oh God, unconditional. But people, if y'all, I can post them on my page so y'all can listen to them. And I tell you, when I cook, it's gospel. Driving is gospel. I blast it too, especially when I'm cooking. They were like, she having church over there, something going on. Like, because I love, it's like, ain't nothing touch your spirit like God. It's just us. It's amazing. But I have not put, I don't know how to put, I don't own the copyright song.
I had to fix that whenever I post it.
I'm just gonna do it without music, but
you can play it. You know, I mean, I'll put it in there when I post it when we're done.
No, don't turn that real loud now. Okay, but I'm listening to Be Okay, this small song, because I just want everybody to know, even if it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but people have cancer, period, every day, every month, every year, 365. No matter what cancer you're going through, trust in God that He gonna bring you through it. That's just my message. Like, besides breast cancer, people that's going through breast cancer or survive breast cancer, I know a bunch of people that's going through cancer right now, and it's different types of cancer. But just know you're gonna be okay. Okay, so my survivor sisters, I want to acknowledge is my cousin. She has LFS too. My first cousin, Katori Belcher. Love you, girl. Janet Hawkins. Girl, when we first met each other, and when we see each other in the grocery store or something, it's like we having a reunion. We be loud. People be looking at us like we crazy. Candace Cruz. She was introduced to me by Demario Andre. And girl, you doing it. You done made a children's book. It is beautiful. You done got your tax services going. Girl, you better go, girl, because you weren't going to let that cancer hold you down. Mauricia Mo Bell. Hey, I will talk to you in a minute. I'll never forget you. When I come to Tennessee, make sure I see you. Paige Key, Chi-Town. But her family from Kankakee, and we happened to meet at a doctor's appointment the same day. The oncologist brought us together to meet. And she was going through breast cancer. And she had a sarcoma in the same leg I did. I think at 21 years old, she lost her leg, but you can't tell her she lost that leg. She ain't letting nothing stop her. That girl, Then I got Anania B. Price. She has LFS. She is fighting right now for her life. She has triple negative breast cancer. She contacted me through Facebook Messenger last year. Out of everybody on the Li-Fraumeni page, she found me, and she was in Uganda. I've been talking to her ever since. She is fighting for her life right now. It is no cure right now for triple negative breast cancer. She has, now they finna do some type of concoction or whatever to try to, so she can be here longer. She has 2 little girls and a husband. She is Indian. She is beautiful. And I met Sheila Runyon. She had triple negatives. She is Caucasian. I met her at a clothing store that I was working at in 2015 called Dress Barn. She came in and told me she had triple negative breast cancer, but she was a survivor. And the doctor told her she must have black in her family because only black people or people with color get that type of cancer. But she was a white woman. That lady, she my auntie. No. But she survived. They took a lot from her body. She's a spunky lady. And Gloria Finch. I know y'all, some of y'all from school remember Jatan Finch, her sister. She's a survivor, breast cancer survivor. And Jen Perry, which is the president of the Li-Fraumeni Association that I met. She is like, she made somebody, the geneticist told her about me, and she introduced herself to me, the president, and to tell me she had Li-Fraumeni, and she has 2 daughters, and they have Li-Fraumeni syndrome. And I couldn't believe it. And she's a doctor. And I have her personal phone number. And she called me many a times. And I could text her if I have a question. And I told her I was doing this. I was texting her saying, I need the stats. She said, She called me. She's Caucasian too. Just my sister. And she said, Andrea, speak from your heart. That's what you do. You don't worry about having this correct answers and the correct stats. So you speak from your heart. You speak from what you know, your life experiences. And that's what I did.
Spoke from your heart, told your truth today.
And so I'm coming to now. It's other survivors. I might have missed some, but those the ones I talk to regularly. And these season ones, I talk to them regularly too. But Miss, okay, so my season survivor sisters, I mean, they up and they didn't survive this breast cancer. Miss Linda Brown, my neighbor. She's my other mama. She's the same age as my mama. She's 66 years old and she's been in remission for 8 years. She is I counsel. I go to her when I need some Jesus, some more. I love some more. I need a prayer. She prays. She anointed. Oh Lord, she's a crocheter. Crochets her butt off. And I'm still trying to learn Miss Linda. I don't know if she's still on here, but because I love crochet stuff. Miss Lorraine Wilson, 67 years old. She's been in remission for 6 years. Hey, Miss Lorraine. Hey, Nicole. My auntie, Miss Ella Broden, 71 years young. She will be making 20 years next month of being in remission. My friend, I just reposted her yesterday. I met her. I had a doctor's appointment in Chicago. After my appointment, I got that shopping spirit. And I went to Oral and I wanted to go to Old Navy. I met her in Old Navy. She had just got a new great grandbaby. And she asked me how this onesie looked at. And we got to talk. She said, I liked your hair. And that's when my hair was short and I was wearing a fade. And her hair was low too. And I got to tell her I was a breast cancer survivor. And it was breast cancer month. It sure was. And we got to talking. We talked so long up in that store. The manager of the store said, let me take y'all picture. And in the back of the picture said perfect fit. And we were a perfect fit because she had that shopping spirit too. Even the thrift stores, oh my God, the thrift stores always, every time I would come and have my appointment, and it was my appointment only, I had to go. I'm going to Miss Patricia Pat Brainy house because I had to see Pat. I got to see Pat. She's 72 years young. She's been in remission for 6 years. And last but not least, Sharice, your grandma, but she my grandma too. Because I call her grandma too. Miss Eleanor Gordon.
85.
85. Come on, somebody. 85 years, young.
That's right.
Look good. Can dress too. You better go with your red. No. She been in remission 27 years. She was diagnosed in 1981. I was born in 80. Yeah. They ain't had no stuff in no 80. Not in no 80s.
Yeah, and I will say now it did come back on the other breast about 4 years ago, I believe.
Yeah, I think you said 2017.
About 2017. But she's good. She's still here. She's doing good now.
Girl.
She don't look like what she
was. The 80s, then it gonna come back in 2017. No, you didn't show your ugly head up here. And think I wasn't gonna beat you again.
Okay. And she did it again.
Yes. Lord. So now I want to recognize my loved ones that I have lost. but I will get to meet again. I mean, not again and meet for the first time when I get to glory. And first is my grandma, Vera Hutchins. I didn't get to meet her. She passed at 44. My auntie, Katori Belcher, her mom, Sheila Hutchins Belcher. My auntie, Gail Hutchins. Mama said, I am Gail. I am my auntie Gail every day. My style and the cutting of the hair and the shopping, she had that shopping spirit, that thrift clearance. I remember being with her. She used to sell clothes out of her trunk. Easter dresses. I remember being little. I would go to Chicago every summer just about to be with her. And she would hang her stuff in my granddaddy attic, her inventory. So yeah, I got that shopping. That's her. She and me. And our birthday same month. We both Virgos. I'm her height, everything. We had the same toes. I remember all that. And my cousin Jackie Love, she passed from breast cancer. I love Jackie. And I was going through my breast cancer. I still got the cards. She said, I have the cards of everyone that sent me cards. Gave me books. My cousin, Lucretia Hutchins, she passed at 33. My sister, Virginia Jenny Higgins. I was introduced to her through my cousin Sharon Sykes. People don't know how much me and Jenny talked, that when I was introduced to her, when I get introduced to people, it's like I don't know. I just I connect because I have that in common. I done been through breast cancer, so I know. And she had got that triple negative breast cancer, and I was like, oh God. And I already knew about it. And we was close that I had prosthetic breast. I gave her my prosthetic breast. I gave her my prosthetic breast. When I had Chloe, she was going through her treatment. She got up there. She didn't come in the room, but she waved at me through the door just for me to know that she was there. I even told her she'd be Chloe godmama. The day her last day, I went and seen her the last day she was here on Earth. I went to her place to go see her. I brought some water or a case of water over there. And Carolyn Butler was over there because Carolyn Butler was her stepmom. So Carolyn was there. And I went in the room to see Jenny. And late on that day, not even late on that day, it was a couple hours and she had been rushed to the hospital. But we talked on the phone all the time. She had went into remission No, she didn't go in remission. Well, she might have been in remission, but when they told her they couldn't do nothing else for her, we was at a it was Caesar Anderson. He played a saxophone, but he had a group that he put together, and they had a performance at the Lincoln Cultural Center. And she had just came from the doctor that day, and that's when they told her there was nothing else. They was gonna try one more thing. I went to one of her. She had a PET scan. She was with Northwestern. She had a PET scan. The day after I got married, she didn't make it to my wedding. I went to the hospital the day after I got married. I went to the hospital. I went up there, and she said, I want to get married one day, and I want a ring just like yours. But we talked all the time. But you couldn't tell me that she wasn't going to make it. The way she praised God. The way she praised God, I said he gonna do a miracle. He gonna heal you. I just knew it. But she affected so many lives, so many people. Her funeral was so packed. There was no seats. I sat in the choir stand. It was packed. She impacted so many people. And then it's man, I'm gonna see her again. And Devin, I love you. I think about you all the time. And make sure you get your checkups. And one more person, Shell, A.T. Shelley, Harris. That's Alicia James, Pam James, Sharon James, their aunt. They contacted me when they found out she had breast cancer, and she had triple negative cancer. And I used to talk to her on the phone, and she would be, she was getting her diet together. She started juicing. She's like, girl, I'm juicing these carrots. I was like, I can't drink no carrot juice. We used to laugh. And, but yeah, she passed too. But, God seen them suffering. Mm-hmm. That's why he took them home, because he like, you done fought long enough, you tired. It's time to take your rest. But I'm gonna keep fighting.
Right.
And keep living. And till God say it's your time. But until then, I'm gonna keep on living brand new life. My 20s, my 30s, it was hell. My 20s and 30s, I had some good days, but that was my 20s, 30s was a mess. But 40, I'm not dealing with no mess.
Right.
I'm not going to not talk up. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to step out and do stuff that I've been thinking about doing. I was telling Sharice, I want to be a barber.
So whoever's in that area where she lives, let's make this happen.
Barbering, because I I would never grow my hair back. That's not gonna happen. And that's another side effect with you say you want me to grow my hair back. When I grow my hair back, my hair itches so bad. It's like the chemo affected my scalp. Like I cannot. Only hair I better keep is this top patch. The sides gotta go. They start growing, it itch so bad. So maybe somebody can let me know what I can use on my head and I can grow my hair, but no, because I'll shave my head in a minute. I don't even care.
I know you're always kind of like, why are you cutting your hair?
Yeah, no, it's a reason. I always have a reason. It's a reason for everything. Like my hair itch real bad. It's just like stuff I buy that goes to my house on the wall is a reason. There's something behind. It's always sentimental stuff I keep. Is always a reason behind something. It's the reason for everything. Oh, and when I was going through cancer, now I'm gonna eat it off here. Is one more person I want to recognize. When I was going through breast cancer, I had put like a wall up. I just didn't want to talk about cancer. People actually thought, people get all the stuff mixed up. Oh, she died. It's bad. No, they ain't died. Man, time wasn't gonna die. And people wanted to get in contact with me and talk to me, but I was just like, I don't want to talk to nobody. I want to deal with this on my own. And this one girl, and she's still bad. No, but she got through, and she got me on the phone, and that is Patrice Austin. She recently got married to Donald Martin. So it's Austin Martin. But Patrice, that girl is real. And she ain't never bit her tongue for nobody. Like she was an old soul at a young age. Like for real. But Patrice and Donald, I love their relationship. You see people relationship outside. I don't know their inside, but the outside look beautiful. I don't know, but he's a comedian and she is too. So that was a match made in heaven because they both funny. But so and Sharice, we connected when I was in New York.
Yeah, at some point when you were
but
or you were hiding all those years between.
Yeah, because I was friends with somebody she didn't like them. And I was like, I shouldn't. Yeah, I learned. No, but we came back together. Yeah, like we ain't missed a beat. Nah. Huh?
I said, I know, right?
I know. So, but yeah, real friends. Real friends. But I love your mama. She a Virgo too, girl. We could talk all day, girl.
Yeah.
In Ohio, Lord. Look, we could be in this, but your mom, we could talk all night. I get back to my room at midnight. We can talk all night.
And I'd be like, Mama, don't you need to be in a bed? I'd be sleeping when she be calling me sometimes.
But I want to acknowledge my mama. And so we bump heads all the time. But she just trying to tell me stuff is not good. My auntie Denise, my uncle Jimmy, that praying for all the time. My sisters. Pooh. She's the G. I'm like the little sister. She the big sister. Don't let anybody come for Andrea.
Right.
She don't fight my battles. But my sister Misha, she in Arizona. She don't play either. I'm the one like, don't do it. And my sister Misha, she praying. She always knows. She like, girl, it ain't nothing. I said, girl, I know. And my cousin Pat, Patricia Eubanks. She going through what she going through. I make sure I try to text her at least twice, once a week. I send her music to encourage her. You gonna be fine.
Right.
You gonna be good. I love you. And I love all my family. And everybody know I'm the smiley sunshine one. No.
Right.
Nobody gonna know anybody. They gonna know Andrea. Cause you look just like LaWanda. LaWanda, your mama ain't it? No. And it's crazy how I come home and had a mask on. People still know who I am through the mask. I'm like, dang,
hazel eyes.
I can't hide. They be way over there. Hey, oh God. Like, oh Lord.
I had mask down. I recognize the folks.
That's why I stay in, because I don't want nobody to recognize me. No, I don't want nobody to see me. But yeah. But that's my story and I'm sticking to it. No.
I definitely appreciate you coming on, sharing your story today. I am wearing your bracelet, so if anybody wants
I made bracelets and I've been out of commission. No. I am
back going with that again.
But I plan on going back to making them when I get into my new place at the end of the month. And because I miss doing my bracelets. And I was like, dang, I can't even do my bracelet for breast cancer month. And my mom, she had all my bracelets and she mailed them to me. I said, send me my bracelets. And they didn't make it here in time. But I can't wait to get back to doing my bracelets. I miss, and it's peaceful too.
Yeah. So order your bracelets in her inbox. Definitely hit up her Cash App as well, just to, donate, because, you and the girls travel all the time. So her Cash App is Living Proof 80. Make sure you see her face on there. You'll see her beautiful face when you send something. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. See to one.
Thank everybody for watching. I don't know how many viewers I had, and I know I talk long, but it's like when I have I got something to talk about, I'm just it just start flowing.
Yeah, you did well. Look at you. Speaking for 3 hours. And
I know. Look at that. Lord. No.
Right? Thanksgiving, we're going to let everybody get some sleep now. But
yes. Everybody, thank you. I love you all. And good night.
Good night.
Nails.
We're signing off.
Popping off.
Bye.